the characters are very scripted, and it's such a great game. I love these characters in the game, and so exactly what you said. I wanted to find out how does it compare to between something very realistic and something very mechanically driven and less graphically with less graphical fidelity. And what I found was that my skills worked for both games. It was stronger in Baldur's Gate, but the effect was still visible in the data I gathered on remote.
So they exist in both games, but it was stronger on Baldur's Gate,
Yes,
and that's because of the graphics.
probably. Also, probably as giving the characters an actual personality you can interact with and spend time with is important, because if you spent 1,000 hours in Baldur's Gate, you spent 1,000 hours with these same characters. If you spent 1,000 hours in RimWorld like me, you're spreading that out over like 10, 15 different colonies, all with different characters you then spend less time with individually.
But I think there's another thing as well. Another point. Isn't that the game Baldur's Gate? Isn't that the game where you can fuck bears?
Um,
I think it is.
I think you're talking about the druid Halsin who can turn into a bear. I'm I'm not aware that you can fuck him in his bear form.
I think you can. That's what I heard. I don't know.
I well, I haven't gotten to that point yet.
But you can fuck stuff like people.
People, yeah.
People. Okay. 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 I would assume we as like humans we're a bunch of like primates basically. We have our instincts, right? We have our basic needs. I would assume if there's a game when you can have sexual relationships compared to a game where you cannot, I would assume that you would develop better, more immersive parasocial relationships with the NPCs where you can have intercourse. You know.
Well, I would say the romance option are a bit more important than the actual physical aspects, because like the sex scene is nice, the sex scene is fun, um, but I was romancing Karlach for those who have played the game, and it this romance really spends a lot of time building up to the
Mm-hmm.
moment, which then is over pretty fast. But just the emotional connection one builds, that is the important part, I think. And of course, like being able to sleep with everybody is fun. Even though the game kind of enforces that you pick one of them. I don't think you can do a big polycule with everybody involved.
Oh yeah, guys, I'm looking it up. It's real. You can have sex with a bear. Jonas, but that's very interesting that you brought the romance aspect because I mean, what kind of a better type of like more immersive relationship that you can develop it with an NPC if not a romantic one? Isn't it's like it, would you agree with that? Like that's a very intense one.
Yes, I would agree. That is very intense. That is very interesting to see. Friendship the same. Um, which of course that is not something that RimWorld gives you. It does not give you romance option. You're kind of viewing everybody from a god perspective. You're not. You can't address them. They can't address you. You just you look at their little lives and you judge them for what they did.
You're just judging everyone the whole time.
Well, characters in RimWorld are so judgmental. If somebody has like a facial scar, immediately everybody has a -20 because they are unattractive.
Really? Wow. Everyone.
Um, yes, well, there is a trait that basically negates that, but facial scarring is an immediate opinion debuff
I see.
you can have.
Well, the thing about romance that I wanted to bring it up is like that would just make everything easier, right? Let's assume you're not when you said parasocial relationships between NPCs and players, you just say, "Oh no, I'm gonna take like those type of romance games." Like you would be done like there would be not much to study about because it's there, you know. But if you take RimWorld, where it's a little bit more tricky, you have more room to explore and understand the whys, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And how strong it happens.
Hmm.
For example, on the most basic level, I'm interested in is what is a good number of characters you can interact with. Of course, I would suspect if you only have one colonist, you have do everything and who runs around, then you're probably going to care for him more than if you have 10. But what is the sweet spot? What is the sweet spot for gameplay? How many characters you should have versus still maintaining a number that makes it a bit easier to care for them because you can identify them.
I know the answer. I know the answer. I know that there's this series of games from Dark Massive. I think. Do you know? What's their name again? Oh gosh, they make those horror games. Is Massive Games Entertainment. Let's see. They worked on Until Dawn, for example.
Ah, yeah, I was
Super
thinking about.
massive games. So the thing about super massive games, I mean, I told you I know the answer. I don't know. I'm just guessing. The thing about super massive games, they always release almost annually those horror games. They take this, they start with this genre where you have like the teenagers and go into this cabin in the woods and like something supernatural happen and they all die, of course. So they took this concept and they start developing games out of it, and it's always like around five teenagers, if I'm not mistaken. And every time that I played their games, I care for all of them. Like there was always like the beach character that I was like, hopefully she dies, or this was the most nerdy one. I was like, yeah, I can relate to him. So you had like different types of personalities that I could kind of not relate, but I could assimilate to other people that I had in my life.